I actually have to thank a Facebook feminist for sharing this link, um, which is interesting. Anyway, this is a page on Laci Green's blog explaining what oppression is and how it works. Nice logo there. Oppression equals unjust use of a power to enforce an unequal relationship and deny another's right or value. Yeah, I'm sure we can all agree on that definition. Let's go on. Oppression typically operates as a system. This means that there are multiple forces taking away someone's power based on a part of their identity, their sex, sexual orientation, skin color, etc. All of these forces work together to marginalize, subordinate, dehumanize, or otherwise devalue groups of people. To be honest, I'm not sure I completely agree with this. Oppression can also be from single to single, but maybe that could be called subjugation. I'll just accept this because I don't want to get lost in semantics. What follows is the interesting part. I will come back to this list, but I want to go to what immediately follows it. Throughout most of the world, the most privileged groups are light skin, male, heterosexual, cisgender, conventionally attractive, Christian Gentile, healthy able-bodied, wealthy, financially comfortable. These various groups have historically been, and currently are, some of the major groups that contribute to oppression. But that doesn't mean they have to be. Yeah, how patronizing. So, apparently these are the groups that contribute to oppression. Seems like a sweeping generalization. Let's see. I said I wanted to go back to that list. Diminished legal rights and status of the oppressed group. It would be interesting how this would apply to how sentencing is much higher for men than for women for the exact same crime. One would think that men being sent to prison for a longer time, on average 63% longer, would mean a lower status. There are some that even argue that prisons should close altogether, but just for women. It's not an isolated suggestion of some lunatic either. These are the results of a very quick search on Google. There are even suggestions that men accused of rape should be considered guilty until proven innocent. And this is without even bringing in how men are considered second-class parents in family court, and how they are considered automatically the aggressor in domestic violence episodes, even when they made the call to the police asking for help. Negative attitudes and heightened violence towards the group.
I'm fucking privileged, racist fucking male that doesn't stand for women's rights. Get the fuck out of here, fuck dipshit, and get that camera out of my face, either. Fuckwit.
I want to call the police.
Fuck you.
Ma'am.
You are fucking white male privileged assholes.
I'm calling the police right now.
What you are is a racist motherfucker as well. How dare you fucking do this kind of shit, asshole? Stop. Stop. Stop.
Is this your property?
Stop. This guy is taking pictures and trying to upload them from a camera. Can you guys get here? At Hammonasset at Middle Beach. He's taking pictures of people on the beach with a helicopter plane. Yeah, can you guys hurry? I already talked to them. Just come. Yeah, stop. I'm at Middle Beach. Get some people here.
You're assaulting me, you asswipe! Oh!
Yeah, that's right. What? Yeah, you want to take pictures? Yeah, you're gonna see how it feels when the police come.
Seriously, you're not.
You stop that! Energy self-defense, sir! Energy self-defense, sir!
Get the fuck off me! Get your hand off my breast now!
Back up, sir.
Get your hands off my breast now!
This woman, we're about to go there because this woman allegedly did. According to the Orange County DA's office, Catherine Q. Becker is accused of cutting off her husband's penis with a knife, taking his penis and throwing it into the garbage disposal. She's been charged with felony torture and aggravated mayhem. Police say Becker attacked him because he filed for divorce. She's being held. She goes, that'll teach him. She is being held in a California jail while her husband remains in the hospital.
I bet you that those prison guards are wearing one of those things that footballers wear? Those metal cups.
Oh, yeah, that the athletes wear?
Yes, yes.
Jockstrap? Cups.
Yes. I mean, I don't know the circumstances. I don't know why he filed for divorce. I don't know what was going on between them. However, I do think it's quite fabulous. I mean, can you just imagine that thing whizzing around the disposal? It's like...
Of yourself. You're fucking scum. You are fucking scum. Fucking rape apologist, incest supporting, woman hating, fucking scum.
Is there someone else I can wait? Does someone follow me?
Fucking scum. Yeah.
As for the negative attitude, Vinnie Mac covered this in over 20 and counting episodes of his series Misandry in the Media. If you haven't, I urge you to have a look at it. As with everything, you will find the link in the description. Decrease social investment, money and resources in the group. We all know how girls and women are outperforming men in education. When it was men outperforming women, resources were poured into programs to help girls and women. While now that the situation is reversed and getting steadily worse, it is seen as a triumph for women, not as a problem for men. Not only that, but still there continues to be resources poured into women's programs, as if they were the ones lagging. Of course, health is one of the most important aspects of our lives, and we know how the health of women is extensively catered for. And it shows. Women live quite a few years longer than men do. Men's needs? Nah, why bother? Interpersonal prejudice. I don't think there is much to be said here. It is such a vague concept that much of it has been covered in previous points and will be covered in the following ones. Employment, educational, institutional discrimination and exclusion. The educational discrimination I have covered in the decreased social investment point. Boy, these points do overlap. I would only like to add that many men are being excluded from college education simply on the basis of an accusation of sexual assault, based on the word of the alleged victim. And even when the police says they don't have elements to believe the alleged victim, the college will come down like a ton of bricks. But don't believe me, believe a feminist that is seeing this happening to her own son. As for employment, during the recession a lot of men lost their jobs, but women employment has kept steady. Of course, if you look at the numbers of employed, the number of men is still higher, even if just. But if you look at the number of unemployed, you can see how the unemployment for women has been going steadily down, while men have remained unemployed as ever. Part of the effect mostly probably because fewer and fewer men are getting an education. As for institutional discrimination, shall we see how the men fare with homelessness? But apparently the majority of those who do get shelter from the institutions are women. Of course, we know that in case of domestic violence it's always the men that are the aggressors, right? Certainly the police seem to think so, since often men are arrested even when they call the police for help. This is a graph of domestic violence in the UK as compiled by the Office for National Statistics from police data. As you can see, yes, female victims are higher in number, but not as high as feminists would have you believe. Actually, the numbers are very close. But if you have a look at the shelters available for domestic violence victims, well, those actually do reflect the numbers that feminists make up. Oppressed groups' identity reduced to stereotypes. Again, Vinnie Mac's series Misandry in the Media has already done an excellent job of exposing many of these stereotypes. To further this point, I will leave the word to internet memes. They will be able to convey this much better than me.
T-shirt runs a little B&B. She's most accommodating when she's in her lingerie. While swapping is your future, you know that it would suit you. Yes, the stereotypes. There must be more to life. All your life you're dreaming, and then you start dreaming. From time to time you know you should be going on another day.
And so on and on and on and on. Loss of power and freedom within the group. I think I have covered this in the previous points with a sentencing gap, with men receiving on average a lot longer sentences than women get for the same crime. We covered this with a family court, where men are routinely dismissed as unworthy parents, but worthy providers of resources. We have covered this with the domestic violence status quo, where battered women have several options for themselves and their children, while men can't call for help or they risk being arrested as the abusers and have nowhere to run to since shelters are pretty much non-existent. Not forgetting that men cannot save their children from abusive wives because the legal system will return the children to their mother in case he tries to remove them from her influence. Now men are no longer free to speak freely, lest an easily offendable woman is within earshot. Salacious jokes, even completely innocent ones, are sufficient to get fired nowadays. Remember the A. Richards case? I could go on, but we've covered this in the other points. As I said before, there is a lot of overlap in these points our friend Laci has concocted. Oppressed groups adopting destructive beliefs about their own group. Oh yes, this is a nice one. Let's see.
Hey, this is a public announcement. This is an announcement to all the women all across the world. Basically, I'm making this video right here to just basically let you know, especially all the women who have been married and have been cheated on, or who has been went through a bad relationship with a man. Basically, what this is it's a basic apology. It's a public apology to all women on the face of this earth, from all men, coming from me. I'm making this video right here to let you all know, basically asking you all to forgive us for everything that we have done, because we know not what we do.
I'm a straight white man.
I'm a straight white man.
So am I.
Me too.
Me too.
And we're sorry.
No, seriously.
We feel deep love, great respect, and a growing sense of worship for the gifts of the feminine. We also feel deep sorrow about the destructive actions of the unconscious masculine in the past and present.
Many of the men who have oppressed and abused you are no longer alive.
Among the living, many men may not be able to apologize because they remain shackled in a prison of anger, fear, and shame.
On behalf of my gender, I apologize to you
for our unconscious actions when we were angry, scared, and in the grip of destructive forces in our psyche.
I choose to no longer contribute to those forces, nor to be run by them in my own life.
I offer you this apology in the hope that we can make a fresh start in the spirit of co-creation.
So do we really need to be slaves to that same innate biology that compels us to fuck anything we see and defecate in the corner? Didn't think so.
We want to apologize and make amends for those actions today.
Just a small selection to make a point. Perpetuation of the oppressor's power and privileges afforded to the oppressor. These are actually two separate points on Laci's list, but I decided to lump them together because they pretty much mean the same thing. So, let's start. Can any one of you remember seeing a men's only club recently? And I do mean a men's only club, not one that is such only in name. No, of course not. Because any time such a thing should arise, feminists start lamenting sexism and discrimination. But women's only spaces are fine, because women need their safe spaces, don't they? I have covered how men are disadvantaged academically, yet, despite that, all of the attentions of the powers that be are turned to helping women. Women's scholarships, women focus groups, women's centres, etc., etc. Women live longer than men. Their medical needs are met promptly and often preemptively. Women have access to over 20 types of birth control, and after those have failed or have been misused, they have abortion, adoption and safe haven laws. Now, I do realise that abortion might be against a person's principles, and it isn't actually available everywhere, but the other two options are. That means that a woman has the possibility of choosing whether to be a mother at every step of the way. In case of divorce, women get to keep the majority of assets and prenuptial contracts avoided on a regular basis in favour of women. Divorce has become so destructive that the motto "cheaper to keep her" has ended the language. I have covered how women get minuscule prison sentences and how there is a push for not sentencing them at all. Women rapists are celebrated and their victim being called lucky. So much for rape culture. Women have pretty much total control of the education system and can therefore educate the new generations as they please. Women's specific cancers have worldwide fundraising events dedicated to them. Women can enjoy objectifying men and enjoy no repercussions. Women can be sexist without repercussion. I could go on, but I want to get to the point. So, with this, do I want to say that men are oppressed and women are the oppressor? No, that's not the point of the video. I must admit I was struggling to put the point of this video in words. I have it very clear in my head, but was struggling to translate those thoughts into words that would be clear, coherent and precise to what I meant. I have to thank Sargon of Akkad in his most recent video, link below, for finding an article that manages to do so quite clearly, and written by a feminist no less. It wasn't until my early 20s that I said I was a feminist out loud, and it wasn't long before I became. I know that as a feminist this is a horrible word to use, and I apologize in advance, shouty. Every second thought was, is that sexist? I think it might be sexist. This is outrageous. Are you buying The Sun? How dare you! Is that advert using a woman's body to sell me shoes? Unbelievable! Now, who can I corner to shout about this to? Narrows eyes and scans the room. She freely admits that everything gets scrutinized with sexism, and, well, if you look hard enough, you will find anything you look for. Quite frankly, people are tired of being cornered and being barraged with how everything is sexist and how males are the problem, especially, as you may understand, males. Back at the party, I am not a feminist. After this calm, totally genuine admission from this woman, I went on what can only be politely described as a tirade, pummeling with facts and figures, trying to convince her that she was wrong, that she was mistaken, that she just didn't understand what feminism was. Slowly, as I began to tire and my face melted from determination to utter disbelief, hers hardened in quiet confidence that she had just been proven right, that we feminists were all the same, shouty, elitists, and actually a bit mean. Men haters, blamers, women victimizers and blamers. I poured at her with words, desperately trying to persuade her that she most definitely was a feminist because, here comes my moment of glory, you're a woman, how could you not be? Ugh. She got up and walked away, and on reflection I would have probably done the same. What an epic fail. The way she describes how she went on a tirade on how that woman she met at the party must be a feminist is pretty much what I have done in this video. Most probably, if you're a feminist, you will have got up in disgust and left, figuratively speaking. People shouldn't feel they have to tiptoe around feminism for fear of angering the beast. In order for feminism to be truly powerful, it needs to be accessible and engaging to everyone, and at the moment it's just not yet. The crucial argument, you're a feminist if you believe in equality between the sexes, just isn't being heard clearly enough amid the noise. We need to start to celebrate even the smallest act of feminism, shout about them rather than preach about our ideals that can often have negative or resentful foundations. In other words, what I did so expertly badly. Perhaps I am being too idealistic in suggesting feminism become a social movement that is universally loved. But without this positive reinforcement, it will be very difficult to stem this anti-feminist tide we're witnessing from the likes of Women Against Feminism. There is a famous quote of disputed origin. To learn who rules over you, simply find out who you are not allowed to criticize. And I think this very much applies here. Feminist pages, YouTube channels and blogs either have comments disabled or are heavily policed. Any dissenting opinion, such as the Women Against Feminism, is ferociously attacked with accusations of hating women or being misinformed about what feminism really is. While modern feminism has shown very, very clearly what it really is. Yes, most people tiptoe because they don't want to wake the beast, and we have seen what the beast does when it is awoken. We have even seen death threats. Even this woman, who strongly identifies as a feminist, is apologizing for using the word shouty, just in case the beast turns around and bites her. The issues I have presented here, albeit in a shouty manner, are all real. The data is taken from reputable sources, and you can look at that for yourself. Men are not oppressed, but they have very real issues that need addressing, in the same way that women are not oppressed and also have issues that need addressing. Please, let's stop trivializing the word oppression. Nobody in the Western world is really oppressed. Life is hard for everyone, and let's not make it a competition for who has it harder.